crossed. I'm definitely going to have to cut out every bit of this intro of us stumbling through it. Is it working? Pete. All right. If you're watching in playback, appreciate you being here. You're probably not going to see this, but I just cut out 8 minutes and 50 seconds of us stumbling around and going like this to everything that we are messing with here. What? I should test. All right, it is public. I'm just not seeing an actual notification going out on the YouTubes. But yeah, if you're watching this in playback, appreciate you being here. We had a few technical difficulties.
Pillow sheet, what's going on?
Pillow sheet in here?
Yeah.
What's up? I still didn't. Oh, there it is. Now I got a notification. Dope. And here comes some people. Well, that was really whipping us for a minute, and
we didn't even really fix.
Yeah, we're like, huh?
Unplug, plug in, move around.
I think I have to get a new piece. Pete. Is that from Star Wars?
No, that's from Shaun of the Dead.
Oh, I thought that was from...
When their roommate gets turned into a zombie, they're trying to figure out if he's alive or not. They're yelling up the stairs. They're like, Pete. He's like, he's not in.
Joyful Spirit, you can hear us. Well, thank God. We did a little troubleshooting. Hope you're well, girl. Hope you are well.
Oh, we signed the Mjolnir for you today.
Yeah.
Jeremy wasn't feeling well, so
he didn't make it.
Yeah, I have to get his signature, and then I'll mail it out to you and your family.
Yeah, Jen wasn't here either. Mm-hmm. Noco Loco, hello there. How you doing? Welcome to the live. Well, we can't tell you what we shot today, but we did a little extra, and I think it's gonna be fun. It
was fun for us.
Yeah, see, I didn't really get to see those other pieces.
What other pieces?
Well, I was taking care of something else outside.
Oh, fair.
Whenever y'all were shooting that, so I wasn't able to really pay attention to that.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be one of those like happy surprises for like them, and then for us in playback.
Yeah.
You know,
it's always cool to see the final piece. You know.
Well, like that one short film that we were all in, the Halloween one. I saw it and I was just like, wait, what? I blew up.
He talked about that. He talked about the one that we just put out. He said it's not doing well.
Yeah, for some reason I know that the first one, Holden didn't have the enormous fan base that he has right now, and that's definitely a factor. But I told him, I said, look, YouTube is a very delicate machine, and if stuff's not being talked about, no one's talking about Halloween, no one's talking about Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, he released it in January. I mean,
and I cannot imagine it not blowing up right around October 1st.
Right, when that time frame comes back.
Especially since this year, like 2020, did not release a slasher movie. Well, because of COVID.
Isn't that what happened with the first Michael Myers versus Jason Voorhees? Like, he put it out, it didn't do well right away.
Well, that's what I said to him, and he was like, well, a lot of that had to do with the fact that I didn't have a lot of subscribers. I said, well, that makes sense, but I mean, at the same time, the production value and everything was there, because look how it's doing now.
Yeah,
you know,
it's the second highest, most viewed video,
and it's like it was on dead meat. Like,
yeah,
you know, if James A. Janisi, if you ever see this live or any of our videos, dude, I'm a huge fan, and the fact that you used that clip is immortalized for us. You know.
Let's see here, McLevin. I'm scary to look at you now, Matt. I think you mean you're scared to look at me now without the beard? Yeah, I know, right? A little over a year growing that beard out and just chopped it off. There was a reason. Paul Childers, Prime, another Sunday morning amazing video.
Yes, there will be one eventually.
Wait, have you not been putting them out?
I have not.
Why?
The past couple of weeks.
Pull that mic up to you a little closer. The whole thing. Grab it, pull it.
Keep all the way.
Hug it, chug it, football.
Yeah.
Hello.
There it is. That's what we want.
So you're doing a video every Sunday?
I was.
He's been doing it. You were doing it for a while.
Yeah, and I don't have any answers, only excuses.
Okay.
And, I shouldn't be making those, but
that's all right.
I'm attuned to it. And my channel too is more. I put out stuff when I'm feeling like it.
Yeah.
Like it and enjoy. And when I start to feel like, okay, this is the same thing. If I'm not enjoying it, I'm even watching them and replay back and being like,
Well, and you said that.
It's not there.
Yeah, and you said a while back, like, YouTube for you is just fun. It's just fun. There's not really a business aspect. You're not trying to grow. You're not building a brand and all that. So
and I'll find my groove eventually. But that's the whole thing. Is it like today? To me, it was just fun.
Yeah.
And I think that shows in the content a lot.
Let's see here. Eat the money, recording, you're chilling. Where was it at? Somebody just asked it. Somebody asked about the beard, and they said, "What's the reason?" Well, I can't tell you, but
I forgot about that. It's like don't tell anyone he shaved.
Don't let them know that my beard's gone. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what's funny though? Like my face, my face won't actually be shown.
Like your face, the thing in front of your ears?
What?
That face?
Well, from what he was explaining, the whole reason that I was getting rid of it was going to be for the, I can't say it all right now.
Yeah.
Right. For the video.
For the aesthetics.
Can we say that?
I guess we can say
for
that.
The video?
So that's all.
For the content?
That's what we'll say. McLevin said filming something. I feel prime. Geisha Warrior said what? Well, what does that mean?
Oh, she probably trying to say she vibes with the fact that
I feel you.
Like an artist, you're like, hey man, if I'm not feeling it, I'm not feeling it. You know?
Yeah. Richard Becker over there, what's up, man? I don't think you ever.
Rich.
I don't think
I did.
You did?
Yep. The
100K party.
yes.
Yeah.
That and then also
No, he wasn't.
Endgame.
He wasn't. At,
Endgame.
yeah, he wasn't at the
Endgame.
100K party.
Yeah. We
Yep.
hung out with it. What's up, Rich? Yeah. Hung out for
What's up, bro?
Endgame.
Let's see here. Joyful Spirit, Matt, my husband says no toddlers on the live stream.
Oh, it's because you look super young without your beard.
Hey. Yeah, it was. It's so funny, dude. I was growing this out for over a year. That's the longest I've ever grown the beard. But when it comes to creating, making, it's just,
dude.
Holden was like, and I might need you to shave, and I could tell he was even like, I'll cut it off. I don't care.
Yeah.
You know.
For me,
good for the views.
Doing the Bane for if you go down the YouTube rabbit hole on Holden's channel when it did the Batman versus Bane, I had my hair wasn't as long as it is now, but it was still pretty long, you know. And he's like, "How are we gonna do that, man? We're gonna make you look bald." I was like, "I'll just shave it off." He's like, "Dude, you're gonna be bald for 6 months?" I was like, "Yeah."
It's for the good of the video.
Like, you're asking me if I want to be Bane?
Actually, you're starting a new membership thing, how to grow your beard in 30 days.
Yeah, that's going to come towards after the challenges. Yeah, after the 6 month challenges, yeah.
Dude, it says,
don't touch it.
Rip Matt's beard, 2020 to 2021.
Kylo, Matt, are you still doing the push-ups live today? Yeah, as soon as we're done here, I'm going to hop in and do 100 more. Matt, have you ever thought about going completely bald? I've been completely bald before, Spartan. Yeah. A few years ago, shaved it all off.
Did you hear about that product? I think it's called
Nair?
creme. No, that stuff smells like rotten eggs, man. Oh yeah, I had an ex once, and she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna shave for the party," and I was like, "Did you kill a raccoon in our bathroom?" No, that's just the product. I was like, "Oh, yikes!" But anyway, the product I'm talking about is called Cremo or something. It's like a cream that you use very little of it. It's like a 90-day supply in a little tube, and what it does is it stimulates the hair follicles and makes them all stand straight up. So when you shave, you don't get that when you shave from up to down, and then you swipe your hands up, how you feel that stubble and that because you're going against the grain or whatever it is. That stuff, because it makes your hair all stand in one straight direction, it just off, and it stays off for a week.
Really?
You get a 5 o'clock shadow in 5 days.
Probably help people with ingrown.
Yeah.
A lot of ingrown.
Yeah,
Stuff like that
yeah.
because
Interesting.
It's them from,
And you can get it to smell like sandalwood, apricot. One of them is mint, which is the normal one. That's the one I use. And the mint one, because it wakes me up. In the morning, if I'm groggy, all that mint, I'm like, ugh.
Huh.
Yeah.
Hashtag not sponsored. Bradley Dewey, R.I.P. to the beard. Appreciate you, Bradley. Thank you for the super chat. Yeah, and it's gone. It's gone. I actually I got to take a straight razor to it soon. And just chopped it off today. Alex W. Sorted the beard but left the hair like that. It's a choice. Only Josh and you, fella. Thanks for the memes. Yesterday's story was epic. Thanks, man. I appreciate you. Yeah, I chopped this off today for something particular, and you will see it in time. Actually, I guess you won't see it in time. I don't know. I don't even know. We shall see.
Okay, I'm gonna Matt's joining the rap game, and he was. No, I'm just kidding.
The rap game. Oh boy, I can't really.
He's going from Assassin's Creed Valhalla to Hitman. That's what's next.
Matt's going from Viking to straight up Hitman. What is his name? The guy from. He's actually from Mandalorian. What's his name? Timothy something. The guy that.
I lost it.
You guys know who I'm talking about.
No clue.
That's he.
No idea.
He was Hitman, I think, and he shaved his head bald for that role. It was like 2005, something like that, a long time ago.
I never saw that.
I didn't either, but I know that he was in it because his face is very recognizable.
Okay then. Well then, who we got in the chat? Bradley Dewey. Perks of Being a Wallflower is an amazing film. One of my favorite. Weren't you talking? Have you seen that?
I have. I confuse it with Silver Linings Playbook, which now that we're talking about it, I know one of them has Bradley Cooper and Jennifer Lawrence. The other one has two other people that I can't remember right now. But I think
the Playbook one.
I think the Wallflower ones, isn't that based off the same guy that did Fault in Our Stars, if I'm not mistaken? I think
so.
similar. It's those movies that are very like deep. In my opinion, I could be totally wrong because I haven't like researched it or anything. But those movies are like. High school emotions and stuff, but it's like they're telling a story as if like, hey, you can identify with when you were in high school kind of deal.
Okay.
And I know that one was said to be really deep. I know Silver Linings Playbook. I think that one for me when I watched that, I remember watching it. It was super deep. Perks of a Wallflower, I think I've seen maybe once or maybe even not even all the way through, but I know it did well, like for the audience and stuff.
Yeah, I have not seen that. Shocker, I know. Let's see here. I'm hopping in the chat once again to see who be here. Let's see. Parker just checked out the BTYE podcast, and it's amazing. Recommend to everyone. Lots of stuff they talked about. Life-changing. Hey, thank you, Parker. I appreciate you. Yeah, it's this is actually the podcast studio itself. Really fun to do with Jenna, and we've been doing that we're on episode 94, I think. Been doing it for well over a year now. It's been fun. It's been
your
fun.
last couple got real deep, real personal, and but in a good sharing way that helps everyone.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks,
based around.
Thanks, brother.
McLovin saying you missed his super chat. I think that's the one about Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Oh, my bad. Where it be?
It says sexy lineup now. Watch Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Sexy lineup now. Thank you, McLovin. I appreciate you, bro. You know, I've talked about this. Hold on, let me read Alex's, and then we'll drop back into that. Alex, Timothy Oliphant, Pastor.
Oliphant, yeah, that's the guy we're talking about. He played Hitman.
And then he was the marshal.
And then he was the marshal. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
In Mando. Yeah.
Alex, thank you for the super chat, bro. So when it comes to McLovin, you're talking about, what are we watching next? I know I've talked about this a bunch, but I really do want to pin Holden down one day. And, Pastor has a marker or a pen, probably a marker. We'll get a big poster board and just force Holden to be like, what's the next movie? What's the next movie? Like in my head, I really do wish we had like a landing page somewhere, like some sort of website of what's coming next,
I think there are a couple of franchises he wants to do that, don't require a certain holiday or a certain time of year. I think the short films was taking most of his time. He has a couple other projects that we know about and stuff. And I think a lot of that has to do with just the time, and he's just trying to work everything out. But that list, I feel like it's in his head, but we don't know it. So we're just like, does it exist, brother man?
And that's a big thing. Well, you just talk about each time it starts. Even this morning, talked about it a little bit. He's got the idea and what he wants to watch. It's just find the time for the rights.
And that's another piece. Like, we did season 2 of Mando. Like, that's currently very topical. It makes sense. It makes sense for us to jump into that.
Right.
And I'm not saying that we don't need to at times deviate and be like, let's do Mando. But like, I don't know. I just, as a viewer, I know that I would appreciate being like, all right, maybe in about 2 months. It looks like, they got this, and this coming. It looks like in about 2 months I'm coming up on that film, And
I was meaning to tell him today, but I kind of lost track of it because we had a lot going on. But I know that now, as far as movies go, unless, the world decides to hold everything off. I know the MCU and Disney dropped all that stuff recently about what's coming out. When the MCU kicks back up, like starting with Black Widow, that's going to be a whole other thing, and I think that's going to be a priority because MCU.
Sure.
But
all their shows, Winter Soldier, Falcon, and
WandaVision, all that. Yeah.
Yeah, WandaVision, Loki.
Yeah.
They're basically every Marvel character
has
is
their
getting their own show.
Show?
Well, either show or movie.
Show or movie. Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
Why does my head immediately go to like movie is better? What like? I don't know.
But it's sorry.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's still. I think maybe just to touch on that real quick
first.
First,
Me? You think it's me?
No. Because typically the show, when they do a show of something, it's different characters. You don't have as much. Where the movie is like the big picture. You're going in and seeing it's the main. These shows are going to have the actual actors that played in the movies too,
right?
And their continuation of what's going. Sorry.
There you go. That's what you want. You want to eat the mic.
Marry the mic. Yeah.
Oh, marry the mic.
That's all right.
These shows are stemming directly from the current MCU, and with the same actors playing their same characters.
I think what Matt was trying to get at, or how I understood it, was like, why do you prefer movies over TV shows? And I think it's because movies are designed to have a beginning, a middle, and an end.
I think you're right.
And you're like, listen, you go in there, movies, and they still do it. They advertise the runtime. You go in there knowing, you're like, hey, I'm going to be here for 2 hours. You know that at the end of that 2 hours, you're going to get the end of the movie, or you're going to get the end of the part.
I think you're right. I think there's like this ongoing episodic. There's going to be more. There's always a pot. Like, to me, it's almost like they have the ability to inevitably not kill anyone off. Like, even easier.
Yeah. There's no pressure. There's no, hey, we got to wrap this up. There's like, hey, we'll just be back next month when we film episode 6 and we'll get it in there. Yeah. And sometimes it works, and sometimes it just literally you're just like, oh, it's one of the filler days. Oh, the episode's very uneventful. Okay, cool.
Interesting.
Because you can also have some shows that they get so popular because every episode ends with a cliffhanger that you're just like, and that's how they keep the show running.
Do you like that or do you not like that?
It depends.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have like you said, I've had episodes where it's mostly filler up until the very end, and then you're like, oh, why'd you bring that in? Like, I was not interested until the last 5 minutes of something.
Now, I will say this. When we did the MCU, of course, we all had seen the movies when they first came out. In between, like, Guardians and Black Panther, or, Endgame and Spider-Man. We had months, if not a year, to wait. Matt was just like, oh, in a week? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like,
what's the next one?
We'll see it next week. Spider-Man's available next week. And we're like, oh, yeah, that's right. It's been out for a while. Yeah. So, like, that's another thing, too. Like, when you watch something and it's already there, I think that's why, with Disney Plus, they're like, we're not doing the Netflix thing where we're just going to literally put all of the episodes of Mando out. We're going to have it come out once a week because people literally have that whole week.
Well, that's what it used to be.
Yeah.
It used to be that way.
Yeah. And I think that they're wanting to go back to basics in that regard. And I think it's really smart. I think it's wicked smart, had to plug that in there because I've been saying that all day. But I think it's really intelligent. It's a good way. It's a good move for what TV is going to eventually be, which is streaming. Cable box and all that's going to be gone if it isn't already. I know I haven't had cable in like 16 years or something crazy like that.
Same. We hadn't had it in quite some time. You about to say something?
I was just going to say, and I kind of hope with these series, I don't know, maybe some people are opinionated in a different way, but like with The Mandalorian, I like how there's short episodes, between 20 and 40 minutes typically, which one makes it very easy for the watches, where unlike, the Clone Wars, we'd be sitting down for almost an hour each episode.
Yeah, that's nuts.
And Star Trek, it's like that too.
Really?
But that's my hope, at least. I like that because then, and there's short, there's not many episodes per season, which kind of sucks when you're watching it, but it works for the after viewing effect, and you're trying to get someone like you into it, then you're not dragging off, 20 episodes, all an hour each for each season.
Yeah.
It's 8 episodes, 20 to 40 minutes, the 40-minute ones being the better episodes typically.
What's like Matt, imagine what he's saying and how you're vibing with it 100%. A show like Supernatural, we're talking 15 seasons. That's 15 years of being on the air. Each episode is an hour long. If you
Good
take the commercials
Lord.
out, 48 minutes. Each season has 20 to 23 episodes.
Jesus, dude. See, like whenever y'all talked about Dragon Ball Z and whatnot, like I just how that's just.
And the thing is, like Holden, for example, with Dragon Ball Z, he's been watching it since he was like 10.
Yeah.
So it's like,
That's the big
how
piece.
have you watched 1,000 episodes of this show? And you're like, oh, because I was 10, like 10 years ago.
I've had my life to watch it.
Yeah.
Sean said, thanks for responding to my email. Keep up the good work. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat. And without a doubt, I love talking to y'all. So drop me a line. Kylo, I saw your email. I did not respond to it yet. My bad. Hang tight. Daniel Skinner, thank you for the super chat. I do prefer movies over TV shows too. So I wonder what the general consensus of that is.
I think it depends on the topic. Like for me, if it's something that I know cannot possibly be explained in a 2-hour runtime, I don't want to sit there for 3 hours. Like if the movie doesn't have the ability of saying, dude, I've only been sitting here for an hour and you've been there for 2.5, like the Marvel movies. I got out of the theater and I was like, oh man, I got like my bottom's sweaty, dude. I've been sitting here not moving for 3 hours. But then I've gone to movies where I'm like, dude, what time is it? This thing is still going on, you know?
Yep.
And then with TV shows, hey, episode whatever is coming out. I'm all caught up. I got to devote 30 minutes to an hour, and then my day continues. So it kind of depends. You know, if the show's good enough that you anticipate it and you're like, I need to be home to watch this. Before it was because you had to be there to watch it. Now it's because you have to be there so it doesn't get spoiled. So it's kind of, a toss-up. But I think it definitely is one of those things where it depends what the show is, what it's trying to do, and how much you like it.
Well, going off that, it really depends because I've seen it both ways, and not just saying a short movie feeling very long because it's drug out in a long movie, like in my opinion, Endgame being so good, you're not paying attention to that. But when it comes to, I've had movies that I've watched and I'm like so into it and it feels like it lasts forever, and then I'm like, this movie's only an hour and 30 minutes long.
Yeah.
I was like, this movie feels like I'm sitting there for like 2 or 3 hours because I'm just that into it, and it's every detail. It's not drug out. There's no slow parts.
Yeah, doing the videos with Holden now that like we've been doing, like we did Fast and the Furious, we did Constantine. We're talking movies that are barely 2 hours, and if
Jesus.
that, and we're like, oh, it's an hour and 48 minutes, and he's like, yeah, let's just sit here and watch it. And when it's done, we're like, all right, man, we're gonna have to like talk a lot about it at the end because we're gonna need meat for the video.
Video's gonna be short, yeah.
And still, it's like, man, I remember when this was like the norm, an hour and 48 minutes. Now it's like 2 hours is what you expect to be in a theater. Like,
Yep,
it's crazy, man.
Remember when Titanic, it's 2 VHS tapes. It was like, holy crap,
Dude.
hold on, we gotta take it out.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Ben Johnson said, I can't take Matt seriously now. Rightfully so. Totally understand. Yep. Now the beard gives me much more authority. I think it makes me look older. Like I look super young without a beard. Like, hey, what's going on? Just getting my learner's permit. Oh man. Well, I don't know how much longer we're gonna go because I'm gonna be going live right after this to do the push-ups. If you don't know, I'm wrapping up 30 days of doing 100 push-ups a day, creating a main video on that, and then I'm also going live on TikTok and on YouTube to sort of take you along on the journey with me. But I'm excited for that video to come out. I'm doing a bunch of challenges on the channel this year. Alex W., thank you for the super chat, brother. That is your challenge, fellas. Find a TV show that Matt loves so much he feels like he has to get back home to watch it. Can't imagine that. Me and you both. Family Guy. So whenever I broke my neck, which was like 6-7 years ago.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No, dude. Jesus.
Yeah. Fell off a jet ski doing 60. C6 compression fracture, mild concussion, pinched nerve. So I was in a collar, a Miami J, for about a month. Didn't have to have surgery, but I was in the hospital overnight. I was very fortunate.
Like the one that makes your face look like this?
Exactly.
Wow.
Did you fall off the jet ski? Or
we were doing 60. And I fell off. And,
or did you just go so fast your neck?
No. I hit the water. Knocked me unconscious. Damn. Lost feeling in my arms. Yeah. But where was it going that?
You were talking about
Family Guy.
Yeah, like
and a show that you like.
Binge watching.
That was when I was laid up 7 years ago. Like I was here at the house chilling. She was at work, and I think that's the first time like I ever turned. I think we got Netflix then.
Oh, okay.
And then I was like, "What's this about?" And then I saw Family Guy for the first time, and I was like, "This is awesome."
Yeah.
you're like the dogs. Dog just farted. I just saw Prime go with his mouth.
Oh, dude, I tell you get used to that, man. Like 2 weeks ago when we were filming, I walked right into one of the clouds, and I was just
I saw that beat.
yeah, oh yeah, man, it was good. It was good stuff.
But like I watched Breaking Bad probably 10 years after it came out, and we ran straight through that. I think I've watched it twice now.
Wow.
The Office, I found The Office through Netflix. We've watched that 10, 11 times. Now it's on Peacock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just got that. Didn't know it was like a free platform. That's nuts, dude. Because they have the
ads.
Yeah, and they have the what is it? Saved by the Bell continuation. Because I watched that a lot. When I was in
They said there's gonna be
high
live
school.
sports. There is live sports on it.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I think you upgrade to like $5.99 or whatever from free, and then
I was gonna say I got it. I'm not paying for any subscription with it right now, but for those shows in particular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Office, like
And
that
it's
was genius on their part to acquire The Office and then to launch it for free to use the ads. Like that was genius.
Oh yeah,
Well, and
man.
then, did Jenna show you? I sent her the video clip too that Peacock put out, and it's like
Unbelievable.
Footage that-
Unused footage and a nod to
and it was a lot.
a nod
Dude, it
to
was like
Hank.
the whole thing.
Yeah. That was nuts.
Like extras and never before seen footage, and I was like, what?
Let's see. McLovin, Friends just got removed from Netflix here. That's okay. You're not missing much. I will now go shoot some birds. Jenna loves Friends.
I do too. It's like Before the Office is my favorite sitcom. I didn't appreciate it till after I moved away from New York. When I lived there, I was like, why does anyone want to watch this? Like, I literally, this is where I'm living right now. And then I left and I said, you know what? The holidays, going to a coffee house, even though I grew up here essentially because I moved here when I was like 19. So I was like, coffee. I don't drink coffee yet.
Right.
So like once I got to college and stuff, I was like, oh, okay, coffee's cool. And then I was like, oh, Friends is pretty dope. And then I was like, this show's not about anything, but I like it, you know?
See, Jay Cook. Yeah, thank you, Matt. Geisha War said I'm the only one. I haven't seen it. I don't know. Friends to me was just so like set up, like such an obvious setup, but like I don't know, like he walks through the door and then the bucket of slime falls on his head and it's just a studio on it. So like, oh my god, so funny. It's just like the most classic like don't walk into the wall, and then he walks into the wall. I don't know. It's just it just felt like such a layup of a show to me. I just never appreciated it.
I think a lot of it was because they didn't have anything to go off of. Like How I Met Your Mother had Friends to go off of, you know? Like Friends was just like, hey, we're just going to get hopefully these up and coming actors. 2 of them have been in movies. The other ones don't really haven't done anything yet. Let's make this show work. And you gradually see when the fan base got there, the budget got higher and the sets slightly changed and they came into their own, and then they started cross promoting and all this other stuff. But I think the part of it is if you latch yourself to one of the characters, like for me it was Chandler. Like I thought it would be Joey because he was like the obvious jokester of all of them, but when I saw how Chandler was, I was like, dude, like that one episode where they're babysitting Ross's kids, for those of you who are Friends fans, and they lose him on the bus, which that happens more often than you would think. Believe me, I know. And they get there and they get to the Child Protective Services and they see these 2 kids and they can't remember if Ross's kid had if he had clowns on his pajamas or if he had ducks on his pajamas. So they flip a coin for it, and he's like, "All right, man, heads." I can barely say the joke. He's like, "All right, man, heads, ducks, because ducks have heads." And Chandler goes, "What kind of sick ass clowns came to your birthday party, dude?" It just killed me, dude. Like it was so funny to me. And then I was like, okay, this is the character I wanna follow is Chandler, you know.
There's funny part. I don't have any love for Friends, but I don't have any hate either. It's one of those shows that, I mean, I can appreciate the trend setting and how a lot of sitcoms have come off from this. But if it's on, I'll sit and watch it and I'll laugh at the funny parts and all that stuff. I don't choose to put it on, but if it's on, I don't choose to turn it either. It's just one of those.
I feel like for me, like The Office was so good to me because it was not like set up like you saw it coming from a mile away and then it executes. I don't know. It felt very different, and I'm sure there are a billion more shows like that. But because I haven't seen that many shows, that's what I go off of.
Well, then I like Parks and Rec more than Office.
See, I didn't like Parks and Rec.
I think another thing about Friends that a lot of people the reason why they hold it dear is because it ends really happy. It doesn't end like the ending is literally was accepted by everyone. Like How I Met Your Mother, everyone hates the ending. Friends ended really happy.
Yeah.
And for me, like that 70s show before The Office, it was like Friends and that 70s show. And then when
that 70s show was good.
Yeah,
I liked it.
when Topher Grace left, I was just like,
It's funny because that 70s show it felt like it kind of similar to Friends as far as like that setup, that punt, like you could see it come, but I don't know. I feel like they executed it better at least for me.
Yeah.
Timothy Ray. Hey Matt, I've been working out for 3 years now. Good for you. I've lost a good bit of weight, plus building muscle, but it isn't really showing any advice on diets, cardio, because I think it's the remaining fat I have. So shoot me an email because it's very dependent upon what you're doing, but it sounds like a mixture of both that you're shooting for. You're trying to drop fat and build muscle. If you're wanting to drop fat, eventually that just means you can do it through two different fashions. The caloric control of what you're actually consuming, being in a caloric deficit, or you can do that through the activity, quote unquote, burning the calories, or you can do both, which is the best. It depends on what you're doing, so I'd have to know a few more things. So shoot me an email at mattlanefitness@gmail.com. Not knowing exactly what you're doing, I'd tell you to create calorie awareness. Check out MyFitnessPal. If you type it in on YouTube, my video is the second one that pops up. But learning what's in your food, knowing the caloric content, knowing the macro breakdown, blah, 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 boils down to calories when it comes to fat loss. Wait a minute. Looks like there was another super chat. McLovin, thank you, bro. Appreciate you. Yeah, okay. Been nice knowing you. Friends is feel good. Is it?
He's basically been like, hey, man, we was friends before
Shots fired.
Yeah.
I don't know, bro. I don't know. Jenna loves it.
I like that 70s show mostly because, hello, Wisconsin. I'm from Wisconsin, so it's always that
bro,
back to it.
I didn't know Wisconsin was like 23 hours from here because I want to go because of the whole like how, and I've talked to you about this before, how beer is like
cheese,
cheese, beer.
We got a few breweries
for real. Like I've never been to one.
Miller,
and yeah, like for me, like I know a lot of people are like, oh yeah, beer, man. I don't drink beer. It all tastes bad. For me, it doesn't. And they don't all taste great for me. Like I have my certain kind of beer, but I know that the fact that I can go somewhere, I'm like, yeah, we make it here. I've never been to one, so.
What really?
A brewery?
There's
yeah.
like 48 like on one street here in Pensacola. Like there's breweries everywhere.
Really?
Yeah, microbrewery. There's the microbreweries which make their own like little personal. 30A is down.
Oh, like a local, like a home brand kind of thing. Oh,
yeah,
gotcha.
In
Cool.
between here, I've actually got to go to Boston to a couple of bigger breweries and do the walkthrough. Yeah,
Boston
over there in Boston.
Do you like beer?
Yeah, I do. I like alcohol, but I don't know with everything. There's some I like, some I don't like.
Yeah.
Same with wine. Same with whiskey. Anything like that.
I have never. I don't enjoy drinking at all. It has nothing to do with like being healthy. Blah blah blah. I think there's like a subconscious thing for me. Alcoholism runs in my family, but beer just. Like if I am gonna drink, it definitely has to taste good. Like I've been made fun of before that it's got to be like a girl, quote unquote girly drink, whatever. Give me the umbrella in it. I don't give a damn. It's got to taste good. It's got to taste good. And beer is like, I've never tasted one beer that has been even close.
And to me, it's not that I kind of misspoke. Beer doesn't taste good. It's just drinkable.
Really?
For me, and I don't just go to the store and go, you know what, I'm gonna get a 6-pack today. No, like if we're at an occasion and somebody's like, we brought the booze, like we went to your buddy's birthday party where we did the axe throwing, and they provided drinks and stuff like that. I was like, okay, cool, it's there. This is what I prefer to drink over the other, but I don't actively go out and buy alcohol just because
grab a beer.
It does run in my family too, and I run a real thin line whenever I hang out and I like have a few beers or something because I'm like, okay, that's it, no, I'm done, but I think thank God I have that power to go, I'm done, and it doesn't, you know what I mean.
Well, I don't want people get like wrong idea. It's not like you got like, I'm not drinking all the time. In fact, I don't think we have much alcohol. I know we don't have any beer in the house right now, and whiskey and stuff. My wife and I just aren't like, we had our partying
sure,
time
the
and
phase,
and all that, but we're just kind of over it now. but we kind of enjoy it more now because when we go out or we have events like that, and we'll have like one or two, and just to get along. It's like a hangout thing.
Did you have a partying phase?
Honestly, not really. It was like more like a partying year. And
really?
And it was with Holden, to be honest. Like, because when I lived in the city.
Oh yeah, he told me about that time frame.
It was when I lived in New York, and I was like at the age where you're like, oh my god, you're just there. You're like 19. You know, oh, we drank and we were 17. I didn't have that.
Yeah.
I wasn't a very curious person as far as like, oh, I want to know what it feels like to do drugs and drink and before, you know. I did, however, vibe with someone who said, I drank so much when I was 17 that when I turned 21, the last thing I wanted was an alcoholic beverage. And I was like, I know what that feels like, but not because I drank when I was 17, but because I was like, what is the big deal?
I would, again, I growing up in front of her family with that, you know, like it was never a draw for me. And I honestly, I legitimately never really partied. Jenna and I, when we first got together, she was sort of in a partying phase. Granted, I mean, that was like 11 years ago. I mean, I think she was 24, 25. So, I mean, it makes sense. But I just never really went through that. I think I've only ever been hungover twice. And like the second time was an accident, I think, or the first one of the times was like an accident. But like, I remember that second time, I was like, this will never happen again.
Yeah.
And, you know, like you hear people say that when they're drunk, like, I'm never doing this again. But it was like so true for me.
And
like,
I never understood that because I said that once too. I got really like to the point, and it was when I learned that Jaeger for me is like not drinking alcohol.
Yeah.
It's dangerous because like I'll drink it and I'm just like, okay, it's fine. Same thing with Amaretto. That's another one where I'm like, it
really?
just tastes like a cherry Coke.
I love it.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, it tastes so good. And they're like, dude, how much of this have I drank already? Then I stand up and I go, oh,
yeah,
you know?
exactly.
For me, the what is it, the peer pressure partying thing for me was, and this is really gross, I admit it 100%. It's the dipping tobacco. Yeah. So I moved down here.
You told me that, yeah.
Yeah, like my dad's trying to introduce me to everyone. And he's like, hey, you know, my son came to live in Florida, whatever. And his cousin's like, hey, you ever try this? And he shows me this gigantic can. And he's like, you got to know how to pinch it and put it in your lip and all this
fiberglass in it and all that.
Yeah. Well, my thing was, I was like, okay, I've never had anything where I put it in my lip and let it sit there.
Yep.
And just sit there. So what did I do? I chewed it and swallowed it. I mean, swallowed and I have big fingers, dude. So when he was like, go ahead, man, get yourself a pinch. I'm like, boom, you know, and I just, oh, this is weird. Then I was like, oh, my head feels weird. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, I don't like this. So I just swallowed it. Bruh. 8 hours later, I woke up face up on my bed. Like, what just happened?
That's awful.
He was like, yeah, bro, you passed out.
That sounds terrible.
It was disgusting.
I tried dip in high school. It was like one of those little bandits. So meaning it's not just the actual tobacco. It was like in a packet.
Oh, the little
it's like so that means it's even less of like, you know, you're gonna swallow it or whatever. I had that in my mouth for about 10 minutes, if that. Immediately puked a peach up that I'd eaten about 30 minutes prior. I was like, well, that's the last time I'll do that. Like, I was a lightweight.
And it hit my head because the whole time I was thinking it's just
it was a gross feeling.
I was the same way. It was just real quick, not feeling well, pick it out, and then still.
Just a terrible feeling.
Yeah, Holden, I think Holden and I have talked about it a couple times. What social, like when we were growing up, we're like, oh, you having a cigarette? Sure. And we'd light a cigarette, and then the whole time Holden doesn't realize that, you know, this stuff is like addictive. You know, it's not just something that you do to pass the time like in the movies. So the whole time I wasn't aware that Holden wasn't like inhaling the cigarette. So I forgot who it was. One of our buddies was trying to do the thing where you're like, you inhale through your nose and out your mouth or whatever.
Yeah.
And Holden's like, oh, that's cool. I want to try that. He goes, all you do is just open your mouth, let the smoke come out, and then breathe in. And he didn't understand that there's more to it than just the movie look, right? And that's when both of us were like, yeah, we're done. This is disgusting. My head hurts. Like, I'm dizzy. I don't want to do this. Why are you guys doing this? Oh, what do you mean? You get over it, man. I'm like, why are you doing this? And so, yeah, I tell people, I'm like, it's not a big deal. Stay away from it.
I remember at a point in my life, thinking like that it was really weird that I never went through a party phase.
I did too.
I think I was really like, when's it coming? You know, like I was approaching 30 and I'm like, it's still not here. I have no desire to do it. It's so weird because like my middle brother went through it when he was real young. And like my older brother long story there, but like, I remember always thinking, man, it's so weird. I never went through that phase.
And there's nothing wrong with it.
No, yeah.
Comes up all the time too.
It's like experimenting. Like it's
even if you go out with something, and it's kind of funny how some people are looked at differently if they don't drink. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's almost like
it's a taboo.
I'm not saying this, but it's almost like a social, like, well, why not?
Yeah.
Well, why don't you drink? Are you allergic?
Yeah.
And like, are you judging us because we're all doing it?
No, I just don't want to. Yeah, stuff like that.
My mom, my dad, they both smoke. My dad drank, which is why he died early because he drank a lot. Which where I get my predisposition from. But my mom, like, they met through like work, and then they were like smoking out, having a smoke break, and that's how they broke the ice and talked to each other. So the smoking was like there before I was here. And for me, it was just like, mom has all these cigarette butts lying around the house. And then one day I was just like, oh, mom does this all the time. I was stupid young. And with Holden, it was just like, well, everyone's doing it by the fire. Might as well do it. And then we're like, hey, man, can I get one? And we looked at each other and we're like, yeah, no, this is just, I mean, cool. No judgment on you guys. We're still friends, but this isn't for us, you know?
It's so weird. As you said that, I started thinking about like, because, you know, like typically when we go out to grab food or on lunch break or whatever, like I don't usually eat. Jenna does rarely too. And like that's also a very weird piece.
Yeah.
Like when Jenna and I first got together, just because like it was around 1920 is when I did start getting into the health thing. I was so rigid. Like I didn't have that fitness maturity that I now have where I'm like, I know that I can eat, you know, those friggin' cookies in there or whatever. And like, I'm gonna be fine. You know, like when I first started out, I was like, no, you can't touch it. You can't do it. But, like it was to the point where like, you know, I just didn't eat at all if we went out. Very awkward for Jenna. You know, like I remember over time, like she sort of just got used to that.
Yeah.
You know, but that's my normal. That's always been my normal. But you're right. There's like that taboo aspect to it, and like as far as like the cigarettes
social,
or there's that social aspect of, you know, even for eating. You know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Especially in the South.
Oh yeah.
I mean, look at birthday parties.
Everything.
You need to have cake.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, absolutely.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
I cut you a piece of cake. Eat it.
Yeah. Exactly. It's so true.
Yeah, that's really a big one.
I'm working with somebody right now. He ran through the 30-day full body group challenge, the 60, the 90 right now. His name's Mason, and he was talking about over the holidays, like he wasn't really worried about himself and like, oh man, I don't want to eat that. It was the pressure he was going to experience from his family, you know. And I was like, man, that's
we made it for you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's holiday,
you know,
time.
which is very common, you know, but it's a lot when you're trying to really work on yourself to tell the people that you love and that love you. Like,
and there is an element where people are like, yeah, that's fine, New Year's resolution, don't worry about it, you know.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, I'm serious. Like, this is what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. It took my mom about 6 months to take me seriously when I would go over for dinner.
Well, and you don't want to disappoint people. That you got family all around you. Each person's made a thing. If you're staying away from carbs or whatever, it's like, well, why aren't you eating that?
Yeah,
I made that.
Yeah,
and it's like you have everything else on your plate but that.
Yes,
why?
Yeah, it's like it's such an attack. Yeah,
yeah, and like she did. What did she do? She did like 3 different desserts and ended up like buying like yogurt, chopped fruit for me, and was like, all right. And I think one of my cousins was like, oh, can I have the parfait as like an appetizer? Like, no, that's your cousin's dessert for when we're done eating. Like, why is he gonna have a pumpkin roll like the rest of us? Oh, because he doesn't eat that stuff anymore. He's trying to, watch his weight and stuff.
Andy, I appreciate you, bro. I'm looking.
Oh, the super chat?
Alex W. Very tasty beer outside of the U.S. Really?
Yes.
I wonder why that is.
Why the beer's tastier outside the U.S.?
Yeah.
I feel like because it's kind of like a passion thing. The U.S. is very, in my opinion, I could be wrong, but it's super motivated on trade and, money making. Really, the passion as far as beer goes is different types of beer because that's what was in stock. And when we had fancy beer night, or our roommates did.
Hold on, I'm gonna see. My bad. No, keep going.
Yeah, we had like roommates and stuff, and they were like, fancy beer night, and we're like, sure, yeah, we'll participate. And they're like, well, bring a beer of your choice, and we each brought like a generic beer that tasted kind of the same. And then I'm like, yeah, we're just not beer people. And they're like, oh, you will be after this. And they bring like banana bread beer and like blueberry something beer. And I'm like, wait, what? You can't just put like good food in front of the
Can you hear
beer.
us?
And it's crazy.
You're on the podcast live right now. Well, you're not on a podcast.
I know. Well, I was calling to tell you that you missed someone's super chat.
I just read it because of Andy, so thank you, Andy. No, thank you to Holden. How you doing, buddy? You want to say anything to anybody? We got 100 people here.
That's okay. This is Holden Hardman here. Make sure to check out my channel, youtube.com/Holden Hardman, for some really great content, better content you find on this channel. So make sure to check that out.
Hey, Holden, sorry I outed you about trying cigarettes with me when we were younger, man.
Wait, what?
we got here on a tangent, and that's why Random Andy was like, "Hey, like super chat, like get back to the chat." We like went on a tangent about talking about cigarettes and alcohol and all that. We were just talking about your history and just exposing, all the things that are very vulnerable about you, the past that Pastor knows.
Oh, Pastor.
Yeah,
Pastor was the one that. Pastor always tells stories about our past that we should probably say in the past at the most inappropriate times in many cases. So. That's great.
That's one thing you never told me about your medical history. That's trippy. I'll have to talk to you about that a little bit later. Don't worry about it.
Wait, about my medical history?
Don't worry about it. But if you want to watch it, you can watch the live back and just see what we talked about. But
don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. I don't judge you. It's all good.
My medical history? What are you talking about?
Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's fine.
Oh my God! All right.
Hey, Holden, go with Crash.
I should not have called. All right, bye guys.
All right, man. Later.
Bye.
Oh, Holds. Yeah, partial apologies, guys. Partial apologies. Yeah, we really got in the zone there talking about other stuff. I told you there would be a way to call in Paul. Well, that was like my personal number there. He was calling, and I figured it'd be a fun thing to do. Y'all want me to call a handful of people in real quick?
Yeah.
I'm down, man.
You gonna do that? Let's do that real quick, and then we'll hop off. We'll hop off not long from now. Hang tight.
Yeah, Holden does. At times he does streams, but he has a lot of stuff going on after we film, so he's budgeting his time as best he can. But yeah, he's done the lives on Matt's channel before. I forgot who asked that, but I saw it scroll up.
Yep, it's been a minute. Let's see here. I gotta remember. It's been so long since I've done it. Y'all keep reading the chat. And
we got super chat. Jim loves art. 199. Hey. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, Jimmy. Appreciate you, brah.
Mason killed it. Shout out to the group one, baby.
Yeah, Mason did. Yeah, he really, really did. He did a fantastic job.
That's awesome, man.
You did pretty dadgum good yourself, bro.
I was going to ask you, Matt, is there any way that you remember, because like we just got off on that tangent, is there any way keeping it separate from BTYE versus these lives?
What do you mean?
Being different. Well, because I always say the Better Than Yesterday Everyday podcast kind of is purposely driven to go deep into those types of conversations. Yep. And then these lives are more typically have been about
movies, casual,
the
chill.
Side, yeah, and then
whatever's in the chat.
Yeah.
What do you mean though? What about that?
I don't know. Do you shut it off, turn it off in your own mindset, or keeping them separated?
I think I do a little bit, because I understand like the demographic, the audience, the people that are maybe a little more intentional about wanting to change things. I think so. I think for the podcast that makes sense to do so. When I put a live with Holden, a live with Pastor Prime, like it's much different than the title I'm putting. Like you don't need love in your life. It's obviously much different.
We don't have a topic. We just go into whatever.
Yeah, I think so. I think that it is intentional to play both sides of the fence.
Yeah, it definitely is. I think so. I mean, the lives I do, I just started doing lives where it doesn't have any. I was using my PlayStation as like my platform to kind of get on there and talk to people in real time. And then I was like, wait, I could just use it. I could just use my phone. Mute my computer and read the comments off my computer screen, similar to how Holden does it. And, I'm like, oh, okay. And I could still talk to people. I have, my phone there and answering questions in real time, not having the distraction of a video game to answer people's questions and not make sure I don't miss anything. So, I mean, there's definitely ways to organize and like funnel your thoughts and whatnot in different ways when you're, a multitude of different kinds of content within the same platform like YouTube. But it's a lot of fine tuning and trial and error, I think.
All right, so let's do this. Let's call 3 people in. I'm going to drop the number now. If an 850-462-4281. In fact, I'll pin that, and we'll wait on the first person to call in, and then we'll probably go like 2 more people will hop in there. Let's see here. I want to pin that number. What did I say? 850 what? 462.
I wasn't listening.
Good job, Prime. Way to be. 462-4281. 4281. 462-4281. Gotta say it 600 more times. All right, it's pinned to the top. If you want to call in, we'll holler at you. We'll holler at you for a minute.
8675 309.
309.
Yeah, call in and hit us with whatever question you want. To me, to Pastor, to all of us, to Prime.
Yeah, I definitely anybody out there that does like fan art.
Is that one of the ones only U.S.?
Ooh, this person just called in. I'm not sure who it was.
Oh, anybody that does fan art, definitely send me some fan art for my wall.
Hello?
Hello?
Hey, who's this?
Danny Fleck.
Dan, what's up, man? How you been?
I'm good, how are you?
Doing well, man. Doing well. Appreciate you calling in. What's happening?
Nothing much. I got COVID right now, so I'm kind of just chilling in my basement watching some movies and NFL. Yeah.
How you actually feeling?
I feel normal.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good. I'm glad.
That's good news.
Dadgum, man.
Yeah.
Right on. So what's up?
Nothing much. How you guys doing?
Hanging in.
Pretty good, man. Just enjoying the time together and talking to you all fine people.
Tired.
Yeah, feel you guys.
Tired after a long day of shooting, for real.
For real, yeah, man.
Yeah.
So what's up? Did you have like a question, or are you just trying to shoot the breeze?
Yeah. Have you guys ever watched like any like satirical like comedic movies like Monty Python or like Spaceballs?
Yes.
Well, we have. As far as like content creation, I don't think we've dove into that realm yet. I think the closest thing was The Room and The Disaster Artist.
Yeah, Danny. Did you mean like Did you mean like individually? Have we watched it, or did you mean did we watch it for content?
Yeah, I guess like individually.
Oh yeah, definitely. I've seen both of those.
I never saw Monty Python. I think I did see Spaceballs, pieces of it. I don't know if I watched it all the way through. I feel like that'd be right up my alley with the comedy.
You know, and I almost think so too, just because you don't like Star Wars.
Yeah.
And
What makes you think that?
Well, it's satirical.
It's satirical.
Yeah,
it makes
yeah.
fun of Star Wars
Yeah, that's
in the
pretty
way
cool.
of
No, I was being sarcastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got me.
Yeah. I don't think you would like Monty Python.
Really?
I watched it yesterday for the first time. It's just kind of like super comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
It's very different kind of. It's
that
because
British
it's like
dry
yeah,
humor.
British
Okay.
dry humor.
So how is
Yeah,
it?
and
Interesting.
it's very different than your run of the mill comedy. Like some of the jokes really hit hard for certain people, and then you're just like, why is that funny? You know?
Yeah.
But it's definitely a cult classic. Monty Python.
I did know that piece. Yeah, for sure. Okay. Right on. Yeah, man. Yeah. Nah, I still need to see him. I know Holden's been talking about doing Monty Python at some point. I just don't know the draw if he really wants to do it. So we'll see.
Yeah. I think the closest thing to Monty Python is like Mel Brooks kind of humor.
Yeah.
But yeah, hey man, it sucks you have COVID, but I'm glad you're
Yeah.
like feel normal with all things considered.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Good for you. Good for you. How long have you had it? If you don't mind my asking.
I got it like last week.
Okay.
So I just been like chilling in my basement,
Yeah.
separate from my parents and all that. So yeah, I've been doing good though. Yeah.
Right on, man. Right on. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Yeah,
Yep.
heck yeah, man.
Stay healthy stay as healthy as you can.
All right, y'all.
All right, man.
Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely
man.
appreciate you calling. Later, man.
We got super chat.
Hey.
Crashing Coyote for $2. Thank you for that. Has Matt seen the Karate Kid?
I think I did see.
So,
I think I saw the first one, which I enjoyed. Yeah.
Okay.
excellent. That's the main one.
Hello.
Hey, what's up?
What's up? My name's Tyler Lewis from North Carolina.
Tyler, what's up, man?
I'm just calling in. I've been watching you guys for a long time. Probably since when everyone kind of heard about you guys from like the Marvel movies, watched that whole thing. But I'm a long jumper and triple jumper in college, and my question is kind of for you, Matt. How have you overcome, injuries over time? Because I know you're really into lifting and all that stuff.
You said you say a long jumper?
Yeah, I jump in college. I'm on the track team.
Okay. if you don't mind my asking, injury, like, did you recently get injured, or are you dealing with a chronic injury?
Well, I feel like I'm just more injury prone right now. I'm just dealing with like a bruised heel, but like my freshman year of college, stress fracture my back, and then I tore my groin my second year of college.
Dadgum.
So I just don't know where I'm going wrong.
Now, so do you mean that from a mental standpoint, how do you deal with it, or physical standpoint, how do you deal with it?
I guess both. What's your advice on that?
Yeah. So from a mental standpoint, that's my big thing. For me, like I got hurt, not too long ago doing the powerlifting and whatnot. For me, it was like a reassessment of like, do I really want to put my blood, sweat, and tears into this? Like I truly didn't blame powerlifting. It was more like, what am I doing wrong? And so I started questioning like, how much of myself do I want to put into this? And for me, powerlifting wasn't forever. I knew that. So I was like, that's when it was time for me to back away. I had other things I was trying to focus on. Having said that, if you're in college and this is your thing, like if you bleed for it, like, injuries are simply just a hurdle for you. I think that's the clarification right there mentally. Like if you know that this is forever, or like, holy crap, this is really what I want to put my life into, I think that's the big piece. How do you feel about long jumping? What is it for you? Is it just you're in college, that's what you're doing, or like you want to do something later on with it? What does it mean to you?
Well, for me, I'm graduating this year from college, and I'll be done. But for me, it's really like athletics has been like my whole life. Okay. So I'm just kind of planning on continuing that after college, like probably like trying to do CrossFit games type thing.
Got it.
But not like long jump is everything to me. It's more just like athletics.
Got it. Okay, cool. So you really don't have like an ultimatum or a huge decision or holy crap, I can never do this again. So I think that's a good thing. It sounds like you're just trying to stay active. Well, and I'm not saying like tap out on it just because you got hurt, but I think that's a big thing to decide, like, do I want to keep going knowing that there's, injury is inevitable at a certain point. When you test your body, especially in a collegiate level, there's a certain amount of testing. So because I don't know how you actually, I don't know how you train and like your college trains and all that, but
yeah.
Injury, a lot of times can be due to, how often do y'all stretch? Like, what's your mobility look like? That was my big issue with powerlifting, was I didn't take the time that I needed for stretching, for mobility, for massage, all those things, the extra pieces that take time, but which should be included. Like, what about those pieces?
Well, I try to do my best, I suppose. I do physical therapy. I've done physical therapy multiple times. I feel like I'm getting better at it.
Yeah.
Like getting better at stretching and, taking care of my body.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess just on a bigger level of like, lifelong, instead of like, how can I overcome it immediately?
Okay.
Like, because I think I did see that video of you talking about how you hurt your back, was it?
Yeah, herniated a disc.
Yeah. So, are you like, I know you kind of stopped doing the powerlifting, but of course you're not like done with lifting altogether, right?
Yeah, no. Go ahead.
So my thing, I guess, my question to you is like, how did you just, how were you able to, make that pivot and realize like, I'm not fit for this one thing,
How do you make that decision? If I'm completely honest, because I had my trainer, Josh, who's a friend of mine and put a lot of time and effort into me, granted I was paying him. There was a piece of me as a trainer. I was like, damn, I feel like I almost feel like I'm screwing him over. But I realized that I wasn't doing powerlifting for him. I was doing powerlifting for me. So if I reached that wall or that point where I was like, I don't want to do this, or I don't want to put the amount of energy, effort that it takes to do this, then it doesn't make sense for me to continue. And I think there's a certain level of lack of judgment, because I questioned. I was like, am I quitting just because things are getting hard? Am I just tapping out because I got hurt? I knew that answer was no. I knew that it was, this is what powerlifting is. And I was unwilling to do that. So I think that it's it's an assessment of, are you judging the hell out of yourself? And only if you're running away from something, or if you're walking away from something. It's very, very different, those two. You know, and I found that, you know, when I did get hurt, my mental aspect just plummeted. You know, it plummeted. It's funny that you say that. You're like, I feel like I'm injury prone. Like, I can very much hear it in your voice. You're like, God, I'm terrified. Well, not terrified, but like, I feel like I'm going to get hurt again. Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically.
I get it. You know, long term, I would continue to move my body. Maybe it means you go back down to something body weight and then work your way up to doing those CrossFit movements. But I think whenever you're running away from it, like the mental piece gets so much worse, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's huge for you to find something just to continue to move your body. Go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to say, you know, thank you for your insight about that. And I just want to say, you know, before we go, that, you know, I love you. I love all you guys. I watch all the videos.
Much love, brother.
Appreciate you, bro.
I hope you guys keep going and keep growing.
Heck yeah, man. I appreciate that. And hey, shoot me an email anytime, mattleanfitness@gmail.com. I'd love to talk to you anytime. I appreciate you.
All right. Thank you.
All right, man. Later on.
We got a couple super chats.
All right, yeah, let's get them.
Crashing Coyote, maybe do Karate Kid Part 2 and Part 3 in one day. We could see that. I mean, they're not very long.
Is it not?
Yeah. They're about the same as like one MCU movie.
That's been suggested a lot lately because I know that it's
Cobra Kai, man. It's hot right now.
Yeah.
And Cobra Kai is what takes place chronologically after the Karate Kid movies.
Hansel. He's so hot right now.
He's so hot right now.
MN Comic Books. Can't be here now. He says hi. This guy is no stranger to us. Random Andy, what's up, bro?
Yo, what is up?
Dude, it's been a minute since you and I talked on the phone. How you feeling? How you doing?
Feeling squirrely.
You feeling squirrely? I say that very often. What's up, man?
Yeah, I think I got that. I think I got that quote from you because it's like I had never heard that, and then it's like I've started using it a lot more around.
I don't know if
around. So.
I doubt that I came up with it. I think I heard it somewhere. I don't know where that came from. Feeling squirrely. I don't know. I don't even know why I say it. Yeah. So what's up, man? You've been cranking out content lately.
Oh yeah.
Heck yeah.
It's actually really cool because it's like I think I got a schedule down and all that kind of stuff, and with the content that I've been trying to do and whatever, it's definitely gotten better. Although I will say though, like it's still kind of awkward in front of the camera, but going. Oh, what's the word? I can't think of the word. I don't know.
Well, just keep trying it, man. Because I was like that.
I guess progress, you could say. The more I do it, the better I'll get, I guess.
Yeah, it takes time. Yeah. It takes time. It takes time. I mean, I've been in front of a camera since I was 9, so I literally grew up with it. Holden's been doing it for ages, and Pastor, you've been doing it a long time. You've been with Holden doing it, and like Prime, how did you like develop you have a good camera presence. How did you develop that?
Thank you. I don't see that. But I started streaming video games and talking, but it was more like a couch thing. But I remember first time streaming, hitting go live and going.
Really?
Yeah. And then, of course, first time no one shows up in your chat, right?
Of course.
You don't have any following and stuff like that. But then over time and putting videos and even now doing the recorded stuff, I still get that moment. I turn on the camera and everything in my head just goes.
Really?
Yep.
For me, the word live is just like, hey man.
Really?
That's it. No excuses. That red live is blinking at you. Let's do this. And for me, it was just like, I don't like the way I sound. I don't like the way I'm positioned. I don't like what I'm wearing. But I'm like, it doesn't matter.
Yep, that's exactly.
Is that how you feel, Andy? For real?
Yeah.
Well, Andy, you were going live for a while, and then did you stop?
Yeah, I stopped because I was wanting to start making content now that I've gotten myself out there.
Uh-huh.
But I do plan to go on live a few more in the future, just when I get the hang of things.
Yeah.
But right now, it's like I'm going through this phase of get myself in front of a recording camera, making content, making videos and all that kind of stuff, and so, and it's like right now, it's that awkward phase. And to be honest, when I'm editing videos and watching myself, I'm just like, oh my gosh. And it's not fun watching yourself having to edit right now, especially in the awkward phase. I'm sure it'll get better as I get editing more and more, watching myself and all that kind of stuff. But yeah.
It definitely gets better, man. It's trial and error. A lot of it is like, hey, after a while, you're going to start worrying less about what you look like, what you sound like.
Yep.
And you're going to worry more about, is my audio quality good? Is my video quality good? Yep. Is my timing good? And then all of a sudden, you're just like, oh, yeah, I used to not like being in front of a camera, I guess.
Well, and people are seeing the progress. Alex W. just did a super chat.
Thank you, bro.
And to you, Random Andy, we're talking about you, that you're absolutely smashing it. The volume and quality of content is getting bigger and better. The lives are really great, my man. Do them again.
Andy, you and I've talked for a little while now. I really do think that you've improved a lot. Your edits are really, really good. And I mean, I've seen your videos, and that takes effort. It's one thing for me to, flick a camera on and be like, mental fitness and flexing biceps. That's one thing. But to go and scour and, work on transitions and pieces and putting titles on it and all that, you've put a lot of work into it, and I think you've grown much more than you realize. But I really think, and I told you this a while back, I think for you, the lives are so much a forcing piece for you, because there isn't the ability to edit, there isn't the ability to cut out the ums and whatnot, and I think that's where people really get to know you. I think that's like I think it's almost like a weapon almost for you to sort of get past that. I think that's the active piece of getting past that awkward feeling that you think you have.
Yeah.
And everyone experiences it.
Sure.
I know, Matt, even some of your previous ones par below 500 subscribers.
Yeah.
Some of your videos, just you and Jenna sitting in the car, and it kind of, you both are looking at each other, talking about a topic, but not really sure where the conversation is type going. And now
I know, yeah.
I'm like, how?
It's well, and and you're right. Thank you, I appreciate that. And it's I love looking at people's you can go to the newest videos in the filter. I love going to the oldest to see how much they've improved.
I was gonna say
I love doing that. That's so cool. And because everybody sucks when they start, unless you're Peter McKinnon. Everyone's, seriously, everybody sucks at the start. But I think you've improved so much, bro. I really do.
I really recommend not taking those videos down too.
Yeah, don't take all those. Yeah, no. But
I appreciate that. That actually makes me feel a lot better, because it's believe me, editing those videos, it's a lot easy. It's been a lot easier to get in front of the camera. It's still awkward talking to the camera, but it's easier starting the camera and sitting down. But the worst part is editing. And I know you have Zane, or if I said that correctly, editing your videos, some of your videos for you, which makes it easier to do the videos. And I feel like I know I'm way far away from being able to get one of my own editors to edit videos for me, but it's a process, obviously. And
without
so it's I feel there's one thing I feel like if I had somebody to help me edit my videos, I feel like I could get a lot more videos out with a lot better content and a lot better of me, and not feeling stressed out when I'm doing the videos or whatever, you know what I mean?
Where do you think that stress comes from, though? You think the stress comes from time frames?
Well, it's knowing how much time I have to plan out the videos, sit down in front of the camera, do the videos, which is maybe 3 to 4 hours a day. I try to take 2 days out of the week to video, and then upload that footage to my video editor, and then it's basically an all-day process for the next few days to edit those videos, because it's you have to go second by second, frame by frame, to make sure I'm saying stuff right, and not flooding my words, and making sure I have the right take or whatever, So
I mean, there's a couple tricks that I've been doing, especially with videos of me just talking about a topic, and that's if you find yourself stumbling, saying ums and stuff like that, just be conscious of it and pause, and then continue with a fresh thought. Don't try and do a run-on thought, or you're talking about, And then you just like you keep going and you don't have a clean break for the editing purposes, and that makes it just leagues easier to edit.
Yeah, and you like bullet points. Like when I script stuff out, which is rare, I'll bullet point stuff. Like I'll literally have a piece of paper, big drawing, like with a piece of tape on something, like on a wall. Could probably do it much more efficiently. But like when I know that I need to sort of get my ADD brain in line, I will bullet point it, and then very much like if I do include a or whatever, I'll just go back and cut that out. If it's very much a video it's not a vlog, or if it's not one of the behind the scenes or whatever, if it's
not candid.
Yeah, my video on MyFitnessPal, I wanted that to be a searchable video. Somebody finds it, it gives them value. That's it. I didn't want to waste any of their time. But I get what you're saying, Andy, and I think like it takes time to find like your style. Like Holden has a style, Pastor has a style. Everybody has their own style. So it takes time to develop that.
That's me right now, being awkward in front of the camera and finding out my own style. So
it takes time to develop that. Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's okay to borrow from your favorite YouTubers
one
too.
editing trick, like some people like go in and like raise their hand whenever they feel like they need to cut that out. So they like raise their hand to the camera, so in the editing they'll be able to know where to cut.
Yeah.
For me, it's like it seems interesting. I don't know if you guys have done that before, but I've heard that works apparently.
The only thing I've ever done with that is like audio video. Like if I've ever had to sync audio video, I'll turn both on, clap, then I know that's where it starts. And then I let both audio and video roll. So if I had like a separate recorder for audio, separate recorder for video, I would just do that. That way they synced up. But I get what you're saying about that, and I think it depends on the video you're making too. Like when I do those Matt's Mental Fitness videos, I set the camera up and just talk. I let the thoughts come, and then I'm like, I'll figure it out in post. I just need to get the message out.
Well, like talking about your bullet points and stuff, that's kind of how I put it as well, because as Pastor was talking, it's easier to cut out those gaps of stuff than it is every into a almost run-on sentence, because then you're trying to cut in between a word, and then that's what shows your cuts way more than when you're going, okay, this is the bullet point that I'm talking about. And sure, there might be some ums in there, but then going
that part, and then you cut that out.
Yeah. And then that's a lot more easy to cut into.
And I also think, Andy, dude, like the more you do, the less you're going to judge. Like, I know that the edits that I do aren't perfect. Like, I know that sometimes the word gets a little cut off, but I'm like, screw it. Is it conveying the message? Right. Is it putting it across? That's what matters. And like, as far as with John, like how it works with him is he goes through, my editor, he goes through and he cuts out the bulk of the ums or whatevers. And then I go back in and I add the flavor, the pieces or whatnot, unless I've said like, hey, add this effect or whatever. But one thing that's always helped me is I will keep the same settings in. So like my outro or intro or the subscribe to the channel, I keep that in, and then all I do is import new footage and then just drag and drop. That way it makes it a little faster.
Yeah, that's what I try to do, like record an intro and an outro.
Yeah.
And it didn't kind of work out for me. So it's like right now I'm still trying to figure out that part out too, because it's like the best way to do it is get that intro, get that outro, just film, like you said, the middle and whatever.
Yeah.
And like, I believe I showed you and some peeps on the Discord a couple of weeks ago that intro with that Random Andy's channel thing.
Yeah.
And it like looks cool. I don't know if I'll do it, but it's like I'm still trying to figure things out. But yeah, that intro and outro is pretty important to catch people. So,
Yeah. Without a doubt. Well, and before you go, Di, she's in the chat. She just said, Matt, Pastor Prime, add an Nexus. Oh, wait a minute. No, where'd it go? She basically said, or just don't do any cuts, just shoot hour-long videos. Yeah. Di puts out like hour and 20-minute videos. And like that's the cool thing about her content. It's very much like getting to know you, very much personality-driven, instead of just like Andy does like a lot of like, movies from this era and stuff like that. It's much more informational style. So I get the pressure that you probably have on you with that.
Well, and that is the very big difference. Buddy Benji, we know, you hadn't met him yet. His started out the same way. He's been starting to edit, and it's looking better quality and everything too. But the dude can talk about his stuff, and it's so interesting about building lightsabers and every little piece of it. And his videos, much like Di's, are just hour long.
Yeah, just talk.
Yeah. Very raw. Yeah,
which is good.
It's not even circling. It's constant information, and it's different each time. And It depends on the video. Now he started actually cutting and editing the video, but they're still like 20 minutes long.
Yeah. It's a balance. I mean, it's a balance. But you're doing good, bro. Don't beat yourself up. You're doing good.
Yeah, because it's like what you were saying, man. With the talking for long periods of time, it's like I can talk about movies like when I'm with someone. When you get me talking about movies, I can never shut up. But like for me, I'm still getting used to that in front of the camera because I'm just talking. Because I feel like I'm just talking to the camera right now. Now I just obviously I'm talking to you guys, but it's still awkward. So yeah, I'm repeating myself, but yeah.
Well, and see, like my head immediately goes to like I would just bring the camera that one time that you're going to be talking to the friend or the person or whatever, and then just set the camera up on the side and just talk.
Yeah.
Just talk, and then there's your content.
I can't tell you how many videos
I've
cut out minutes of me going on a tangent on something, and then rewatching it while editing it, going,
how the hell does that apply?
Like this is like 3 minutes of why.
Yeah, exactly.
Another big tool with that, especially if we're going to be talking about movies, is try and get like photographs or clips, things that are obviously that are free reign, that you don't have to worry about copyright. And like if you're worried about I have a couple of ranking videos, like who I would cast in a movie or something, and I have videos where I literally do not appear except for in the beginning and in the end. And I'm like, hey guys, this video is about this. And then when I get into it, I just start throwing images at you guys, and all you do is hear my voice, and all I'm doing is literally reading my script. I typed it as I wanted to say it. And then at the very end, I show up again, like, thank you guys for watching the video. And it's literally, that's the only time I'm being candid, is when I'm saying hello and when I'm saying goodbye. And the rest of it is 1,000% scripted. And I read it like you would hear an audiobook. So if it's a question, I have that little question, like, like, what did you think? Or what do and I add the inflections and add all the different kinds of speech patterns or whatever to make it seem like I'm not reading off of a script. But that's exactly what I'm doing. And that literally makes editing and comfort and all that super easy.
Yeah. It's a balance.
That is interesting. That is interesting with the scripting, because it's like I tried a script a couple of times, and when I was editing the video, I sounded so robotic every single time, and I flubbed my words so much that the majority of the videos you see aren't scripted. I basically, obviously they're scripted with, the content of what I'm doing, but with the words that I say, it's not scripted. It's basically coming off, my feelings from my head and whatever. And so, because it's like I said, like if I did a script, which I did a couple of times, I deleted the videos because I had to redo the videos because they were so bad. I sounded so robotic and whatever. And it's just like, obviously scripts are for some people, but for me, it's just like, I can't do the script. It's just so weird.
Well, I think you can overthink the hell. I'm not saying you particularly, but I think you can overthink the hell out of it. And at times, you can edit a video. But like there have been times where I've been like, it could be a little bit better. It gets the message across. Let's go. Like even if I have that piece in me, it's like, man, I should probably do that. Like just put it out. Like it's intentional that you put it out at that point. It's almost a test to yourself.
Right.
So, but keep it up, man. I think you're crushing it.
Well, thank you.
Heck yeah,
much appreciate that. Really, definitely, helps me out with my, confidence of thinking, was that video good or bad or what? But seriously, I really appreciate that.
Absolutely, brother. Yep. I mean, value is subjective. So
just get in the habit of thinking someone out there wants you to tell them your story, and then that's just take it from there, man.
Just keep creating.
Nice. Okay. Thank you.
For sure, bro.
Much appreciated. I'm glad we got to talk.
Me and you both. It's been too long.
It's been way too long.
we have a video coming out. I don't know when Holden's putting it out. It's going to come out on his channel where we talked about something that you and I talked about over on Discord. I think it was an interesting take. So that's coming out for everybody, but I think it'll speak to the mods too. It was pretty cool. So. Mm-hmm. But yeah, man, I love you.
One last thing before we go. Malitan told me to tell you to watch The Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2.
That's on the list.
That's the first time that's been offered. That's a good idea.
No, they've been.
I'm being so sarcastic right now.
Dude, I looked you right in the eye and I was like, oh.
I know Holden will be down.
Dean Layton, I'm watching out for you, bro. I'm watching out for you.
Right on, man.
All right.
I'll talk to you soon.
I'll talk to you guys later.
All right, buddy. Have a good one.
All right,
See you,
bye.
Andy.
Yeah, you too. Bye.
So before we go, or before we continue, rather, Di said that she wanted to ask Baby Yoda a question.
Yeah.
And I did while we were talking to Random Andy, and she was wanting to know how the diet of blue macarons and eggs were going. As far as I know, I'm a little gassy, but that's about it, right? And a little bit of throw up and spit up. That's it.
Always, yeah. The ride in to the planets is just shake it up.
Something's got his attention. He's not looking at us or anything. He's looking right at the camera.
He's pissed. He looks pissed from here. John Knight, if you're still here, man, thank you for the super chat. He said, no, the beard. Well, there was a purpose behind it. I didn't cut it off for no reason. And you will in time
Or you did.
see it.
Or you did.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Wait, what?
He said, or you did, or you just cut it off.
or
'cause
you
why
did
not?
Or
just
maybe I
cut
cut
it
it
off.
off for no reason. Yeah, maybe cut it off for no reason.
Oh, I know why. He cut it off to make a wig for something, right? So I'm kidding. See, I can't joke right now. Candid jokes for me suck.
Right
now.
over my head.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right over my head.
I tried to play. I was going to play off it, and then I just blanked.
Yeah, it's bad.
Blank. And you know what?
Oh, God.
On Prime's embarrassing voice crack, I think that's a perfect place to hang it up.
Yeah.
I need to get these push-ups done. If you're feeling squirrely, check me out on TikTok, and I'm going to be live on YouTube as well tonight. Not too long from now, banging out these push-ups. So I love y'all. I appreciate you being here. This is one of the most casual ones we've done lately. This is really fun.
Yeah, super chill.
We've been running our mouth for a while. This is fun.
For reals.
I love you. Talk to you soon. Lots of content coming.
Oh, yeah, lots of content coming. I know I got a lot of stuff in the works, too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Prime, get back on it, bro.
Yes.
All right. Love y'all. We're out.
See y'all later.